Hi guys, it's Opus I. How's everyone doing? Good, fine and dandy, I hope. Today I'm here to talk about my 5 favourite Amouage fragrances and my 5 least favourite Amouage fragrances. I think Amouage might be my most reviewed house of any house. I could be getting that wrong, it just feels like I've reviewed a whole bunch of them. Mainly the woman ones, but I've smelled a whole bunch from this house, a lot of them, so I feel it's time that I have enough reviews from this house under my belt to do a 5 favourites and 5 not so favourite list. So without further ado, here we go. So I'm going to start with a least favourite, and it is Love Tuberose, or is it called Tuberose Love? I always get it mixed up because they did 3 where it was called, it's called Love Tuberose. They did 3 in their Secret Garden collection called Blossom Love, Lilac Love, something or other love, and then they switched it and did Love Tuberose, which totally confused me. I don't know why they did that. Anyway, as a Tuberose lover, I was thinking, oh yay, this is going to be fun, it's an Amouage Tuberose, and ultimately I was disappointed because it is way too gourmand for me. It's very heavy on the creamy elements and the vanilla, and Tuberose is a really kick-ass flower, okay? It's very green, it's heady, it can be really overbearing, and I kind of like stuff like that usually. But this fragrance feels like it just dampened every part of Tuberose, the characteristics of what Tuberose is. For the record, Amouage have much better Tuberoses than this, namely Honor, which is in the white bottle, Honor Woman, and also Uber, which is in the gold bottle, which fades into clear. Both of those contain Tuberose, and I think they're much better, edgier, more opulent, a lot more Amouage. I think it smells nice. I think it smells great. It's a nice Tuberose. I think it's a good one if you are starting to delve into Tuberoses, but the downside is Amouage fragrances aren't cheap. They're not the cheapest thing. You can't just get one off of a shelf. Well, I mean, some people probably can, but I definitely can't. And I think for the price, it's not a Tuberose that you should be starting with. So that's why it's on my least favourite 5. So one of my favourites, and I'm actually going to count them down from 5 to 1 as well, is Epic Woman, the one that comes in the green bottle. I actually don't own this one. I own the other 4 of my favourites. This one I will get eventually. This one is so good, and it took me... I loved it anyway, but it took me smelling it on my best friend when I gave her a sample of it and letting her wear it around me. Sometimes that makes me fall in love with things more when you actually experience it on another person. This one's a huge green, almost coniferous incense, tons of other notes going on. It's a super opulent, that word I'm going to use probably quite a lot in this video because that's kind of synonymous. I'm going to use that word quite a lot in this video because it's synonymous with Amouage fragrances. They're known for their opulence, they're known for their complex compositions, the strength, the longevity, just all kinds of stuff, and this one hits the nail on the head for if you want a green incense that kind of touches on Oriental. Look it up. I did do a review on it as well a long time ago, but this one is really good. To me, it's kind of sexy, and I know that's not a word that everyone uses, or it's different for everyone, but to me this smells like a rich lady, and sometimes I like to smell like a rich lady, because that I am not. So the next one that's in my not so favourite list is Interlude Woman by Amouage. It's the blue one. This one either gets really highly praised or its name gets dragged through the mud. It's a very, very unusual fragrance. It's an extremely juxtaposed composition. It's quite dirty, this one, and it features notes of kiwi. It has my least favourite note in any perfume, which is Immortelle in abundance, and Immortelle it's just a very strange note. It can be sometimes like maple syrup if it's placed with the right thing, but other times it can smell like curry, and as much as I love to eat curry, I don't like to smell like it. you can't really help that sometimes when you eat it, but still, I don't want to spray that onto my skin. So very strange incense, immortelle, leather, smoke, but then this very strange kiwi fruit thing that to me feels extremely clashy. The fragrance, when you wear it, the notes just clash, like if you put a cymbal together and kind of just missed and didn't get that perfect sound, or if you tried to hit a bell and just hit the edge of it or something. Weird metaphor, but you know, you kind of get what I mean, right? So yeah, Interlude Woman, not my favourite, just for its sheer clashiness. The next one on my favourite list, number 4, is Lyric Woman. This dark red jewel of a beauty of a fragrance. This is one of their roses. I'm not sure how many they have. They have a couple, I think, but this is to me the main rose in their main line. This is to me absolutely exquisite. This fragrance features a lot of iris. It's a powdery rose. It's almost got a, I guess, kind of like a waxy texture to it. It's not that petally sweet, fluffy, pink rosy smell. There's a little bit of an edge and it almost feels lipsticky. It's really smooth and powdery and it just smells very expensive. And that's not the plus point of it. I don't wear things because they smell expensive, but when I smell this, the way this is blended feels so expensive and elegant. It's kind of cozy. It's a cozy rose with a waxy, lipsticky background. Just unbelievable. I love this. I wish it was stronger. It does wear quite close to the skin, but they do an extra version of this, which I really want to get my hands on, so yeah. So the next one on my not so liked list, I actually kind of like it, but I find it very challenging. It's Myths Woman again. I really wanted to like this. The purple bottle just had me dazzled. I was thinking I need to get this in my collection. It's going to look really nice on my shelf. But you know, at Amouage prices, I can't really afford to just be putting something purple on my shelf just because it looks nice. So this one is such an aggressive chypre. Given chypres aren't my favourite style of fragrance, I am learning to love them more. I'm finding more and more that I really appreciate, but in terms of chypres on a level, this is a super aggressive one. There's a lot of oak moss in here, a lot of patchouli, there's carnation, it's spicy, it's really, really rough, this one. It's like an assault of green forestiness in your face. It's really, really powerful, and on first sniff I thought, what the hell? When I reviewed it, I had worn it a few times, I'd gotten a little bit more intimate with it and dissected it a bit more and understood what it was about, and I can appreciate it, but it's on my least favourite list because of just, I think it's very difficult to wear. You have to be a full-on chypre lover to be able to like this, I think, so still try it out. These are just my not favourites. You might love it. So anyway, on to another good one. Number 3 on my favourite lists is Opus I. This is part of Amouage's library collection. Last time I checked, they were up to Opus 11, I believe. Number 1 is one of my favourites though. This one is a super opulent floral centred around one of my favourite flowers, ylang ylang. There's tons of cardamom in here. This one to me feels like an 80s floral on steroids. This one is, when you're wearing it, you know you're wearing it, other people know you're wearing it. It's so unassuming in its little frosted glass thing. I like holding these bottles as well, they're very... This is spicy as well, so it's like a spiced ylang ylang with this cardamom edge that never goes away. I always thought cardamom was a top note until I wore this fragrance and realised that it can stick around for a long time. So those are the main things I smell. It's like a spiced, peppery ylang ylang with lots of cardamom, but it is so unique. I have never come across a fragrance like this in my life. So Opus I, I've used quite a bit of mine actually. Okay, side note. Are any of you like me, when your bottles start to get to there, you start to panic? I start to panic when it gets to here. True crazy. So the next one in the not so favourite list is Blossom Love. I think basically the Secret Garden collection, they're a very big departure from Amouage's usual over-the-top complex style. And Blossom Love, while it's very pretty and very pink smelling, For me, being a fan of orientals and incense and stronger things that make me feel badass and take me out of my own personality, you know, I like to feel sometimes like I'm powerful when I'm not really like that at all. This one is very, very pretty, very well blended, but to me it just smelled pink. I think it's lovely, but again, I think this Secret Garden line, I think they should have lowered the price of them. You can tell they're not using the rich, kind of expensive, I guess, materials that they do in their normal line in this line. They just feel different. So there are pink things that I would wear, but this one for the price I would not. So that's why it's on my list. It's Blossom Love. So number 2 on my favourite list is Memoir Woman, the Black Beast. This one is actually a chypre, funnily enough, but it's a very unusual chypre. I would say that this is one of the darkest fragrances that Amouage have in their line that I've tried. I've tried probably 80% of them, and this one is a huge incense. Again, it's a very rough, dirty incense smell, and it's very, very green. I think there might be oak moss in here, I'm not sure, but if not, it feels like there's oak moss in here. It feels like something that is that dry, dusty, fusty greenery, and it's kind of mingled in with all of these dark resins and smoke. And this is one that another one where you can really feel that you're wearing it, and I think a lot of other people can. I went to a concert with my friend and I was wearing this, and she told me that she could smell me on her coat where I'd hugged her in the night, and she could smell it when she got home. So this one doesn't mess around, and it's exactly the reason, or precisely the reason, why I love it. It's Memoir, and yeah, this is number 2, so we still have number 1 to get to, but for now, let's talk about another not favourite. So the last one on my not so favourite list from Amouage is Reflection Woman. There's a couple of things I want to say about this one which are positive. So this one's all about water. It's about your reflection in water as opposed to a mirror. The bottle's gorgeous, the idea is gorgeous, and I think they executed that feeling perfectly in the fragrance. It does feel like a watery floral, but the reason it's not my favourite is because certain watery aquatic florals in that sort of theme go very wonky on my skin, and I end up smelling like if somebody took a bunch of flowers and just smushed them into a muddy puddle. And this one just went very, very strange on me when I tried it. Really weird, like muddy water with petals in it, and that's not something that I want to smell like. I want to smell like fresh petals if we're going to be talking about petals. So Reflection Woman just wasn't a hit for me. Which leads me on to my favourite Amouage fragrance of any that I've tried. I still continually try the new ones, and none of them have come close to this, and it is Opus IX. It's another one of the library collection. I got this as a gift for Christmas a few years ago, and I was elated. This is the one. This is the one for me. So this one is, oh, with my light on I can actually see how much I've got left. Bonus. Oh, it's actually only to there. I thought I'd used about that much. This is a huge Indolic Jasmine. This one is another incense one. It's a super spicy, high-pitched, in-your-face jasmine with the Indolic part of it ramped up to 100. There's also civet in here. So this is skanky, incense, jasmine, pepper, spicy, just everything. This is, to me, is perfection. I think it's the most perfect Amouage I've ever smelled. The bottle is amazing. It's got gold little flecks in amongst this red glass here. If that is red glass, I think it might just be a covering. But this one I love. I'm actually going to spray it on my hand because I haven't worn it this year yet. Oh. So yeah. This is kind of on the cusp of how dirty I like my fragrances. If it didn't have the spicy, peppery incense side of it and it was just focused on the floral, I probably wouldn't like it, but it's all of these things together that combine to make it smell. This is like a femme fatale, or whatever the male version of a femme fatale is, I don't know. This is a statement, walk into a room and get noticed fragrance, and sometimes I need that, and it's absolutely perfect. I'm still in love with it as much as I was when I first smelled it, and I don't think I ever will fall out of love with this one. So that's my list of 10 Amouage fragrances, 5 that I love, 5 that I don't love so much. I hope you guys liked this review. I'll see you guys very soon for another one. Well, it's not even a review, is it? It's just a video. Hope you guys like this video. I'm Amouage, trying to make the world smell better, one video at a time. See you guys soon. Goodbye.